the special session of the parliament. Now, a lot of things that are going to be taken up in the special session of the parliament, Nancy. But, you know, all these pictures of the Prime Minister yesterday visiting the BJP headquarters in the national capital and the grand welcome that the Prime Minister got. One question I want to ask the Prime Minister's driver is that, you know, how is he driving with all the flowers that come on the windshield? I mean, does he have cameras that are placed? Maybe he doesn't even have to look outside. That's how good his skills are. Because the petals that are showered on the Prime Minister, even inside the BJP HQ, I mean, they were excited about just receiving the Prime Minister for the Central Election Committee, you know, meet. PM मोदी नए संसद भवन पर 17 सितंबर को झंडारोहण करेंगे. So there's going to be a proper inauguration on the 17th of September at the new Sansad Bhavan. विशेष सत्र का एजेंडा जारी, 4 बिल आएंगे, राज्यसभा में 2 पहले ही पारित. So 4 bills that are going to be introduced during the special parliament session. Do we have a list of what these 4 bills are essentially?
Well, on the top of my head, I remember there is obviously the most controversial, the bill on the CEC and the selection of the election commissioners. Then we have one advocates amendment bill, and then we have one periodic media periodic bill that is going to also be taken up, which are being passed in Rajya Sabha already. So I think, but the debate is going to center around the bill on the CECs that we are talking about, because that is something that the opposition has always, you know, they are opposing it for the longest time. And in the Rajya Sabha also there has been a debate about it, because we'll talk about the bill later in detail. But I think these the center of the discussion is going to be the CEC bill, and maybe they might raise some other, you know, important discussions and topics, because I have seen that opposition is not very much satisfied with, you know, the special agenda on the parliament. Jairam Ramesh took on X and he posted that this helps us in any way possible. This does nothing, because, you know, the session is in about 5 days, and now you're releasing the agenda, and the agenda is also not clear.
Basically, you haven't given the opposition time to deliberate and prepare themselves and strategize themselves. But before that, पहले बात कर लेते हैं कि exactly what are these 4 bills that are going to be introduced in the special session of the parliament. 17th, what we're learning, PM मोदी नए संसद भवन पर 17 सितंबर को झंडारोहण करेंगे. 17th September is also the Prime Minister's birthday. Let's not forget. So on his birthday, he's either meeting the you know, the Jawans in Kargil. The Prime Minister is either releasing a set of new cheetahs at Kuno National Park. It's always something special and big. All right, छोटे मोटे काम नहीं करते प्रधानमंत्री मोदी. The Prime Minister is going to, of course, inaugurate the you know, झंडारोहण. I don't know the literal translation into English for झंडारोहण, but yeah, a flag hosting ceremony or something like that is going to be carried out at the new Parliament building on the 17th, which is also going to be just a day ahead of the new Parliament session. I have the list with me. थोड़ा गौर फरमाइएगा. The title of the bills are the Advocates Amendment Bill 2023, passed by the Rajya Sabha on the 3rd of August. The bill, as passed by Rajya Sabha on 3rd of August, was laid on the table of the Lok Sabha on the 4th of August. Considering for passing, it is still kept there. The second bill is the Press and Registration of Periodicals Bill 2023. It was passed by the Rajya Sabha on the 3rd of August. The bill, as passed by the Rajya Sabha on 3rd of August, was laid on the table of Lok Sabha on the 4th of August. It is also considering a passing. And then moving on, we also have bill number 3, which is the Post Office Bill 2023, Nancy. It was introduced in the Rajya Sabha on the 10th of August. Consideration and passing after it is passed by the Rajya Sabha and laid on the table of the Lok Sabha. That is what it's left. And finally, the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners' appointment, conditions of service and terms of office Bill 2023, introduced in the Rajya Sabha on the 10th of August 2023. अभी तक वही है. Consideration and passing after it is passed by the Rajya Sabha and then laid in front of the lower house of the Parliament. So the two bills that are already there with the Parliament, with the Lok Sabha, are of course the Advocates Amendment Bill and the Press and Registration of Periodicals Bill 2023. What kind of effect will this make on you know, day-to-day activities? Because I'm trying to make sense of the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners, appointment, conditions of service and Term of Service Bill 2023. What is this going to be about? CEC के बारे में बात की गई है उधर.
Yeah, so basically, if we just to give viewers the brief of what the CEC bill is. So after Modi came into power, the Supreme Court said that the selection committee, the members of the selection committee who are going to appoint the election commissioners are going to be of 3 people. There is going to be the Chief Justice of India, then we have the Prime Minister of course, and then we are going to have a leader of opposition. Now BJP went in and now they are with this bill on CEC bill. They are saying कि आप Chief Justice जो हैं आप उनको replace कर दीजिए, and it is going to be a cabinet minister who is going to be appointed by the Prime Minister. So they are trying to the selection leader of opposition is there. Chief Justice will be replaced by a cabinet minister, and then we'll have Prime Minister Modi. So they're going to create a monopoly in the selection committee as well. So then there is going to be 2 versus 1, because obviously the cabinet minister is not going to defy whatever
the Prime Minister is saying.
Yeah, whatever the Prime Minister is saying. So it's raising concern about the process of democracy, that we are choosing election commissions, which has to be, it has to be a very independent process. So CGI is there, if the CGI is there, he could make sure, he or she could make sure that nothing undemocratic or something, the law is followed. But if you replace CGI with a cabinet minister, I mean that is going to raise concern, and I think opposition is going to going to go on it. And although the ruling party is saying that when the bill was proposed, they are saying that the leader of opposition is going to be there. We are going to make sure that there is going to be a rightful conduct. The selection the member are going to lay out principles. They are going to give proper reasoning for choosing the election commissioners. But I feel like this is something that is, I'm really excited to see the debates, what the opposition has to say about the bill, and how the centre is going to defend the ruling party, how are they going to defend the bill. So I think this is one of the most, I think Jairam Ramesh also tweeted out, he also said the same thing. He is going to say, see, the agenda is not clear to us right now. What is 75 years of parliament, celebrating experience and all of that. And he's like, but we are going to talk on the CEC, that is going to be our main agenda in the parliamentary session. We are going to oppose it, and we are going to talk about it, that this is something that is going to harm the process of democracy, because voting is the festival that we say in democracy, and if we are going to breach that process and make it a more equitable, then it's going to raise concern in the democracy. So I think it's going to be an interesting debate, Kabir.
No, 110% is going to be an interesting debate. It's going to be interesting to look at the proceedings of the of the new parliament building. And number one, let me tell you, the new parliament building, apart from the politics or the discussions that are carried out inside it, looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. People are also saying, अब इसमें मजा नहीं आएगा, इसमें जगह नहीं है to throw chairs, इसमें जगह नहीं है to raise those placards. It's going to be more organized. That's what people were worried about. कि वो पुराना पार्लियामेंट वाला जज्बा मजा नहीं, वो फील नहीं आएगी, वाइब नहीं आएगा. But well, we had to move on. According to Hardeep Singh Puri, the rooms were, the ceiling was falling apart in the old parliament building. But of course, we mentioned the 4 bills that are going to be taken up. The 75 years of the parliament's journey, that is something that people are going to, throw light on. Of course, a speech and a remark by the Prime Minister is something that is expected. While the agenda outlined by the government on Wednesday was unexceptional and included legislation in various stages of discussions already in the parliament, sources said there could still be some surprises and something more substantive over the 5 days of the session. Opposition leaders also expressed their apprehension that the government may have something up its sleeve. What could this be? We were reading about One Nation, One Poll yesterday. कैसे पैनल ने रामनाथ कोविंद जी को और deliberations के बारे में बताया. Is that something that might prop up?
I mean, it could be. It's one of the important issues. I mean, Meghwal has, listed out, Arjun Ram Meghwal, he listed out all the cons and pros of the One Nation, One Poll. Ki, these are the cons of this policy, these are the pros of this policy. But again, these kind of policies, it's a big change for the country, because we are a democracy. We believe in federalism, we believe in state, then we believe in multiple elections at multiple levels, because it gives independent powers to governments at different levels. But when you come up with One Nation, One Poll thing, so you are questioning the structure totally. So it's a big change, and I think to get it passed, I'm just excited to see the discussions around it. How are people going to I think I'm sure that there is going to be a resolution as well. There is going to be discussion about the name of the country as well. That India Bharat debate is going to be there. This opposition is not going to let that slide easily like that. That you cannot just come and change the name of the country. And BJP is also the ruling party. The government is also going to counter it. So it's going to be, there are some important aspects to it that they are going to talk about. But I feel like,
even as you speak about it, take a look at this. One nation, one election, first meet of COVID-led panel likely next week.
Yeah.
So as soon as next week, it's going to be the COVID-led panel is going to meet up. So basically next week is going to be, next week we're looking at the parliamentary session itself
from
by
18th.
next week. So not so soon, maybe not so soon, right?
Yeah. And I think with the Lok Sabha elections and the state elections coming up, this parliament session has to be, the guiding force of, if we are going to see the proceedings, whatever they say, what bills are going to get passed, what agenda is going to be put up by the opposition alliance is something very interesting, because then crucial at a time when, elections are just around the corner, with the state elections coming up as well in, Rajasthan, Punjab and every state. So I think it's going to be very important that we take a look at it. And there's also on 17th of September, there's a CEC meeting of the BJP as well. So I think they're preparing.
Lots happening on the 17th of September. Again, the Prime Minister is going to go to the BJP HQ on his birthday, and a lot of other stuff that the Prime Minister is going to do on his birthday, apart from launching the PM Vishwakarma Yojana, that is going to end up helping 30 lakh artisans in about 5 years' time across various subsidized loans and skilling programs. A special show on that is also being done on News 9. You can catch it if you tune in at the right time.